Welcome back again, everyone. I'm Lynn Doyle. This is It's Your Call. We are talking about culling the herds, and I have posed this question on Facebook, and as always, you guys are great in your responses. You actually are having arguments on my page that I wish I could share with everybody, but we don't have enough time. Amelia writes, I think this is a good idea. As long as it can be used for food, imagine the venison offered to shelters, etc., being put to a great use. It's a multi-purpose solution. Please don't argue about it. And then another one says, I don't agree with this. It seems like it's very inhumane. I think what people are really concerned about is, Bambi is out at the, at the stream enjoying a nice little, drink of water, and boom, it's not true hunting where, like, maybe you're sitting out in the woods for hours and hours and hours, that they're actually targeting these deer in a way that's almost unfair. What do you say to those people?
Well, as Emil said earlier, that kind of hunting, that kind of recreational and sport hunting is not going to reduce populations of deer to the extent that they need to be reduced. The only way to do it is through a professional management exercise to take out significant numbers of deer. That's when you will start to see positive benefit for the landscape, the reduction in deer vehicular collisions, those kinds of things.
So when you say a significant amount, how many are we talking about? How many deer are being killed in a specific hunt, for example?
Well, in the Watchung Reservation in Union County, New Jersey, in the early 1990s, there were about 300 deer per square mile. And within 3 years, they brought the number down to about 25 deer per square mile, so 1/10. In other words, the population had to be reduced by 90%. That isn't even enough for the forest to have recovered very quickly. It's recovering slowly.
And you're saying, again, that the reason it had to be reduced by that great of an amount is not because people are upset about their azalea bushes, but because the natural resources, the natural environment is actually being unduly influenced or hurt by these deer.
Well, if humans hadn't altered the landscape, the forest in the east evolved under about 3 to 5 deer per square mile. That population was maintained by Native Americans, by the fact that the forest covered almost the entire landscape and sunlight never hit the ground. When we transformed all that, we created an environment where deer could reach hundreds per square mile.
We were just looking at some pictures. It didn't look to me like sunlight was hitting the ground because it was completely, highwayed over, and it was developed, and it's like it just. No,
but the sunlight hits the ground on the edges of all those places.
And they are edge animals, is what you were saying. Okay, deer. Here's a question: deer kill more people each year in the U.S. than bears, snakes, and lions combined. Is that true? Anybody know the answer to that?
Colloquially, I believe I've heard that before, that with the number of deer vehicular collisions across the country, that is the case.
Okay, so if we're not going to have it has to be true. Yeah. But there's snakes, Snakes are not killing people every day, right?
Certainly not.
Okay, so my question then, if the sanctioned hunts are not the answer and you're not a fan of invading the deer with birth control, what do we do? The overdevelopment is already there. The 7 billion people are already here, and they're not going anywhere. And the houses and the nature has already been disturbed. So, what would your solutions be?
Well, that was asked of us in Valley Forge, and as I said, so far we're still struggling with this. We're going to be looking at other national parks and raising, obviously every time this comes up and every lawsuit is another conversation that we're having internationally and nationally on this.
Okay, and Jennifer, what would you say the solution would be?
I think at this time we don't know what the solution is, and we need to try the other alternatives to see how they work and whether they're effective. If they are, then maybe there will be an alternate solution that doesn't involve the culling, and perhaps there won't be in the end, but we don't know unless we try. And to take the drastic step of first sharpshooting the deer in our natural habitat is just inhumane.
Is it that's not where we're going to have to leave it. I'm sorry, we're almost out of time, but I want to thank you both for being with us and explaining your position. And gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for explaining that perspective as well. If you'd like to tell us what you think, or you have comments or questions for either of our guests, you can email me at lynn@lynndoyle.net. Until then, my thanks to my crew and to you for watching. We'll see you the next time.